And part of the game that these people play is to pretend that they want to have a debate of ideas and no one will actually answer them. I will go back and revisit the Tim Pool stuff because there's been a lot of comments and I will show the DMs. I have the receipts. I can do all of it. I get more receipts every day, not literally, in terms of where Tim won't face me because I'm a bad faith actor. Mm-hmm. Bad faith actor, because no one on the right, he's never had any bad faith actors on his show.
And Tim Pool himself is perfect faith.
Yeah, exactly. But here is this old guy, Dennis Prager, thrice divorced. I only say that because he's such a moralist, and it's pretty impressive to get divorced 3 times. And
good for those women.
Yeah.
Yes.
I hope none of them had prenups.
And he is a moralist who is, in the business of telling other Jews that you're not good Jews. And but in this instance, he's talking about how thirsty he is to be debated. On the Tim Pool show, incidentally, here is Dennis Prager.
I'll give you another interesting thing that people don't reflect on. We ache to have them on our shows. We ache to debate them, but they won't debate us and they won't come on our shows and they won't have us on their shows. I have offered tens of thousands of dollars to any left-wing columnist on the New York Times to debate me anywhere they want. They could choose the moderator. They could choose the audience. And serious money, and that's 99% of the New York Times columnists are leftists. Maybe there are 3 that are not non-left, but they would never do it. I ache to debate them. I would raise $100,000.
Pause it for 1 second. I just want to be clear. 99%, 3 of them are not. That means like there's 97?
Yeah.
Noted leftist David
No, it would
Brooks.
be more, like 115. 120 other New York Times columnists.
Yeah, and to the extent the
Weird
New
math.
York Times people are 99% anything, it's Ivy League educated.
Yeah, I ache for leftists to actually be in the New York Times editorial board. Can you stop saying ache? It's just like, I mean,
He's aching.
dude, like keep it in your
Gross.
pants.
Keep going.
I could probably raise that. To have
God.
Ta-Nehisi Coates or Ibram X. Kendi debate Larry Elder. Okay, it would end the
All right,
career
pause it.
of
Sorry.
Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Notice like that those are the people that he selects,
Those
right?
aren't New York Times writers.
Not, and also it's notable that like they make it about them being black for the most part. But
Well, he's like, I will set up a debate between these 2 black people and this other black guy, Larry Elder. And be like I'm a fight promoter.
yeah, right.
Don King, Dennis Prager.
Yeah.
But let's continue on here.
It would end the career of Ta-Nehisi Coates or Ibram
And
X.
they
Kendi.
know that.
They would be
Fired up.
regarded as the moral and intellectual frauds that they are. Larry would wipe the floor with them. The key to their success is not enabling us to have an audience.
Okay. Now, his Prager. No, keep it right there. Don't move that tweet. Don't touch anything. His Prager University. No, go back to where it was. That's why I said don't touch anything. Right? Leave it right there. I want to show this. His Prager University was funded to the tune of $10 million. That's according to BuzzFeed. Prager University. It's not a real university. It's a series of videos. A video project got $10 million. Now, I don't know where that came from. I don't know if it's like he has such an empire that but talk about not having an audience. They bought their audience. Millions of dollars go into it. Let me tell you how much money has been invested in this show. Well, let me start with outside parties. $0 was invested in the launch of this show. And then we'd have to compute like I had borrowed and accidentally kept a 360 device that fired sound from Air America back in my Air America days we launched. And we had people donate used computers. We still have some, like I think the Crook is still around here and named after, I think the guy's name was John Crook. I can't remember who dropped it off at the $10 million. Here is how many views. Just look at how many likes he's got on his tweet there. 3,826 likes, okay, on there. And so early on in this, I retweeted his video. And this is what I said in the quote tweet, I guess. Go to that one.
The point is that he wants to pay tens of thousands of dollars.
And I wrote, available. And since this was done at Tim's studio, I wrote, adding, Timcast knows what lengths he would go to not even be on the same stage as me. Right, Tim? Now, that was just a direct message to Tim without having to go into his DMs. So let's ignore that for now. I'll explain that one day in the future. But scroll down. This thing got right there. 10,000 likes, almost 11,000 likes. They never, ever, ever responded. Like they're pretending like they hadn't seen it.
Which is, not true.
Which is obviously not true. Because so many more of their views came from that quote tweet. And subsequent ones by other people too. But I think Vaush also responded. There's a bunch of people who responded.
It's probably all your bots, though.
All my bots. I deployed all the bots.
Yeah.
Release the bots.
But they won't do it.
It would be nice if they could, we talk about donated computers and, we'll take what we can get, right? Like those tens of thousands of dollars that you would get paid to debate could be helpful.
I will say this to Dennis Prager. I will do it for tens of thousands of dollars. I will do it for zeros of dollars. If and going on location is not a problem. I told this to Tim some time ago. I didn't want to go before vaccinations. Didn't want to go before the oncoming Omicron wave, which he denied at the time was happening, though we could see it in New York. But here, let's play this clip. Who is this? New Wave Libertarian Communist.
It looks like New Wave Libertarian Communist got a question into Dennis Prager that he didn't really respond to. Let's see here.
Oh, let's hear this.
He's the host of the Majority Report.
Go back a little bit. Go back. Again, there's no way that you can get 10,000 likes on a quote tweet about you and nobody knows about it at your Prager University.
No one's telling him.
The comms department at Prager University. Maybe one of the deans would come down the hall and say, but here it is.
Hey.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Hi. Hey. So I noticed, I think it was Friday, that the PragerU Twitter account said that the left won't debate. I guess you said that on Timcast podcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I wasn't sure if you were aware of Sam Seder. He responded to you, said that he's available. He's the host of the Majority Report, which is a progressive podcast. Yeah.
How many people know the name Sam? This is the first I hear of it. Seder, you said? I'm sorry. Seder?
Yeah.
So, Sam Seder. So how many people do you feel? The reason I'm asking, I'm not being cute. The reason I'm asking is if I'm going to debate someone on the left, they can't use it as a stepping stone to become famous. I have to debate somebody on the left who has the similar audience as I have in writing and in speaking, podcast, PragerU. As in other words, I gave the example of any New York Times left-wing columnist.
Mm-hmm.
So otherwise, everybody who does a podcast or who writes a column should say, oh, I would love to debate Dennis Prager. So he's not telling the truth. I'm a leftist, and here he won't debate me. I get letters like that all the time. Why won't you debate me? So that's the only reason. So I need you to understand. I'm glad you called. I thank you.
Oh.
I mean,
he didn't really give him a chance to clarify who you were at the end.
Yes, because he was already prepared for this type of thing. Now, let's be clear. This is a game he's playing. He is being cute. He's afraid. He knows he's afraid. Dennis, if you're not watching this, I would say to the guy on your show who's watching it, clip this and give this to Dennis. Dennis, you're afraid. You know you're afraid. And the fact of the matter is that the people in the New York Times, you want to compare Ta-Nehisi Coates to Dennis Prager? Are you kidding?
Bro.
Are you serious? This guy has international acclaim outside of the incredibly old demographic that you serve. To the extent that you have anybody younger, it's only because you've had people on who, like Dave Rubin at a time, well, like Dave Rubin's number's no different than ours. People don't know who Dave Rubin is. You're afraid. You should just admit that to yourself. It will help you. It will help you recover from whatever it is that you're ails you. It's aging you too early, Dennis. Now, listen, if you need more information about me, if you want to hear my credits, I was recently in a movie that got over $25 million at the box office.
Whoa.
Better be careful. Are we giving Dennis Prager too much of a leg up because of how big you are?
I mean,
Can't be a stepping stone for us.
but
for
Dennis,
you.
we can do it in any way that you think will not help my career. I don't care. Honestly, I don't care.
You could do it. You do it masked and anonymous.
Yes. In fact, yes. If you want to bring me on and not actually say my name,
Yeah.
I will wear a mask. And the only people who will know this are the people who hear me now.
Already know
And
you.
obviously, that's not many. So I will go on with a bag over my head.
Yeah. Go on in shadow
the
like you're in the
unknown
witness
comic.
protection program.
Exactly. You can dim
Deep throat.
You can dim my lights, and my voice obviously people aren't going to recognize. And you can call me Steve Jones or whatever it is you want to call from the Steve Jones show so that I don't get any value to my career. And that way you can make sure that you're not uplifting and we can just make it about the ideas.
Just the ideas, pure ideas, no identities at all.
No identities.
Just floating minds in space.
Yes. And you can just say I'm representative of the floating progressive orb, the woke progressive mob. Now, if you want to help Dennis hear this offer, where I will come on in any way that he deems will not in any way help my career, 877-243-7766 is his number.
Live Monday through Friday, noon to 3 p.m. Eastern Time.
So
It says we are always happy to hear from you.
they're always happy to hear. You can also email him at dennis@dennisprager.com, but people won't be aware that he's being made aware. So
Right.
really make a phone call, record it, obviously. And I would say this, if you're a fan of Dennis Prager's, our number is 646-257-3920. And if you want to talk to me, you can call. And if you feel like, oh, we don't do screening. And if you feel like you're going to get lost in the 25 calls in the line, send
Send an IM with your area
send
code
an IM
and
with
say
an
I'm
area
a
code
Prager
to,
fan. Yeah,
Majority FM.
And you know what we'll say? We'll say this.
Hello.
Hello. We will take your call.